What's up? We're back. And let's just go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, yeah, Pro Tools automation is king. In Ableton Live, you got to re-enable the automation if you change something. It's this orange button up here. Well, it's the button that becomes orange. If I move something around, this, boop, orange. Let's get that big. Up here becomes orange. I click it, and everything goes back to how it should be. Are you ever going to do some more O2R stuff? Well, the answer is yes, but the other answer is maybe not in Mod 2, maybe in Mod 3. But yeah, I mean, really, once you get back into the school, once you can go back to school and you can like get access to the classrooms and stuff, really, it's your responsibility to go into the O2R and like get deeper into it yourself. You're probably not going to do a whole lot more on the O2R in class, but you should totally use it for recording sessions and stuff like that. So, all right. Yeah. So these screenshots just illustrate what I was talking about before. If you have all this automation on here and then you move it and the automation lane becomes grayed out here and that little red light turns on for the re-enable automation. If you want to perform automation changes, like if you want to have something that changes automation, like I've got like something on my keyboard and I want to have an automation happen, I want to play it in. It says here's how you would do that. You do not need to have automation turned on. Let's see. Let's say my drums have some kind of a filter on them. Huh. Hey, stop. Okay. All right, cool. So let's put a filter on these drums. I want to put a filter just on the overall output over here. All right, up and here. Huh, you forgot that you learned the audient this mod. Yeah, you do. You learn the audient in the beginning of the mod, right? It does feel like a long time though. Okay, so I got this filter here, and I can put this. Now let's say I want to play this in. I don't want to draw this in, I want to play it in. So what I'll do is I'll go over here and I hit this button up here. Make sure that none of my tracks are record enabled, and I hit the record button and hit play. There we go. And now if I go look at it, we can see my automation that I just played is right there. So it's as easy as that. You just turn on the thing. The hardest part for me to remember is that you don't have to have any tracks record enabled, because I'm so used to having things record enabled to play and do stuff too. But with automation, you have to make sure you don't have it record enabled and you just have the record button pressed. And the reason why that's hard for me is because I'm so used to Pro Tools or Logic, where when you don't have any track record enabled, it's like, you don't have any track record enabled, you can't hit the record button, stop touching the record button. But in Ableton Live's case, it's like, touch the record button. You know you want to. Do it. Do it. So, you got that. Let's Let's see, what else we got to talk about? In your preferences, yeah, so these are a couple of preferences to talk about for the automation thing I just mentioned. It's under Record Warp Launch here. Record session automation in all tracks versus record ARM tracks. I just have it set for all tracks for mine, but it's safer to do it with the ARM tracks, but all tracks is more universal. It only affects the session view, record session automation in. And then if you're in the arrangement view, you can mess around with it and record stuff. But yeah, if you want to record automation into the arrangement view, you gotta hit the automation arm button and the arrangement record button. And then make sure you don't have anything record armed. I'm just gonna say that again. Make sure you don't have anything record armed because it will record over that. And I've had to like undo stuff a few times because I recorded something over something else by accident. So that's that. Couple points to remember about automation. To choose the parameter you want to automate, just click it in the plugin. Doesn't the plus button do something similar? The plus button, you're talking about this plus button right here. This plus button here is a MIDI overdub. So if I wanted to record like drums or something into my arrangement view, and then I wanted to record more drums on top of those drums in the same clip, that's what this button here does. This is the plus. This is like a, if you open up your help in the lower left-hand corner, it's MIDI arrangement overdub. When enabled, existing notes in MIDI clips in the arrangement will be mixed with rather than replaced by newly recorded notes. So it's not really, it's more for MIDI stuff. Let's see here. To choose the parameter you want to automate, click it in the plugin. Yes, that's one thing. Don't turn on the automation arm button unless you want to record automation. That's really important because sometimes I've had moments where I've been messing around or like I'm recording some MIDI thing and I'm like, the volume's too loud on that track. The level's too high, so I want to turn it down. And then the automation, this little automation button up here, automation arm button is clicked on and it starts recording my volume change. I don't like that, so I usually leave that button off. Automation can be overridden just by slightly adjusting a parameter. So you can override it. If you just touch it, it will override it. Clip envelopes can be unlinked from the length of the audio waveform. This talking about the clip envelopes we talked about in the beginning that blew everybody's minds. Remember, you can unlink them, and then you can hold Option to curve an automation line. So if I've got a, let's say, for example, I didn't want to play this in, I just wanted to like record it in. It's a straight line. I hold automation, and it becomes a curved line, like that. Let's see that one more time in slow motion. It's a straight line, and I want to curve it, so I hold Option and I drag it down like this. Cool. That's what's up. The auto curve is Shift for Windows. You mean to curve it? Oh yeah, curve, yeah, you said that. I don't know. Maybe. You'll have to try it and report back, RJ. It's a task for you and you alone, unless somebody else wants to do it. And it's a task for that person as well. Where are we in all this stuff? I think we're good. I don't want this filter. I was not a fan of the filter. I'm going to delete the filter. But you know what I do want to do? I do want to put this overhead, not overhead, I keep saying that, the open hi-hat effect. I like this sound, but I want to be a little bit louder in general. Ah, it's Alt. Okay, there you go, Alt. Yes. Oh yeah, well, on the Mac, it's actually also the Alt key. Alt. But it's the Option key, but it has an Alt on there as well. So yeah, Alt. Is it overkill to create a bus just for the track to still manage the gain? In Pro Tools or in Ableton Live? Which one are you asking for, Bado Beats? In Pro Tools. No, what I would do is basically the same thing that you would do in Ableton Live. So in Ableton Live, I don't... I don't do my track gain, I don't do my volume automation on the track's level at all in Ableton Live or in Pro Tools. What I do in both of them is I use a plugin in Ableton Live. It's called Utility, and you use the gain here. And the reason why I do that is so I don't have like a bunch of like these things moving up and down. If I just want to do like a fade up on something, and then overall I want that level to be higher or lower, I can still adjust the level in the mixer. And same thing with Pro Tools. So what I use in Pro Tools is there's a plugin called Gain. I think it's called Gain. And I set it for +12 and then do my automation on there. I auto enable it and do automation in there. So if I want to do like any kind of track fades or whatever, I use the plugin to do that. That's what I recommend in general, is using plugins for that stuff. Don't do it on the fader itself, because then later on, if you wanted to change the level, you'd have to like adjust the automation. It becomes the whole thing. And I used to wrestle with it all the time, and then I was like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. Okay, so what I want to do, actually, just with this little line right here, is I just want to take this that be-doo-doo part, this part here. I don't want that to be so loud, ever. It's just too loud. So I'm going to go ahead and automate it. I'm going to go into my clip, volume, and just turn this down. Boop. And this one here, turn it down. And this one here, turn it down. And this one here, turn it down. So now, turn it down more. And I don't mind it getting louder as it goes.
Up all night, what?
Yeah.
Up all night, what?
And you can hear that it's doing that automation throughout all this whole time.
People trying to come in.
Was that to emulate a door creaking open? No, it wasn't, but it sounds like that, right? It sounds kind of cool. It was just some kind of weird effect that came from, what was the plugin? It was that Isotope plugin. I took it off. I don't even, what was the name of it? Anybody remember? Stutter Edit. It was in Isotope's Stutter Edit. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so, yeah, it wasn't to emulate anything. It was just to make some sounds, and that was just the one that I chose. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. All right, well, there's some kids yelling out there. I think the coronavirus is eating them. Cool. All right. So we've got all this. This is all good. So now let's go back to our other one here. And let's talk about exporting. So we've got this song, and we like the song, and we're like, this song sounds dope. So we're going to export it. So what I always do, you don't have to do this part, but what I always do is I create a marker, and then create a marker in Ableton Live. You right-click and add locator. And I add one called top, and at the end over here, I'm going to add one called end, like that. I'm going to go ahead and make it 1 bar later. And I always have a locator in the beginning and the end of wherever I want to make my bounce. And I do that just so I always know exactly where the end is going to be and where the top is going to be. That way I don't have to go looking for it later. In Pro Tools, because I can quickly jump to my different locators, there's not a window for that in Ableton Live. But in Pro Tools, there is a window for your memory markers. So you can actually click on the first one and hold Shift and click the last one, and it highlights the section of the song that you want to bounce out. In Ableton Live, it doesn't do that, so you have to highlight it yourself here. But what I do is I just select the song I want to bounce, and I hit Command L just so I have a loop there. I don't need the loop. You don't need to do the Command L part. I just do that so now I can click the top part. It's just something I got in the habit of doing. And now this part is what I'm going to bounce out. Right? But before we do that, cool. That sounds pretty good. Let's make sure.
Up all night, what? 'Cause I'm scared.
Cool, yeah.
People trying to come in to my bedroom, y'all, and cough in my face.
All right. All right, so we got this little beat that we made. We got some vocal stuff. We got these chords that come in. What I'm gonna do now is, let's get rid of you. Probably don't. Nice, okay, and this can just go there. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna do a real quick master on this, and this is not a class about mastering. It's not me teaching you mastering or anything like that. This is literally just what I do when I'm putting a demo together and I want to play it out or something like that. What I'm going to do is on my master fader over here, I'm just going to put a couple of plugins. One is because I need to make it nice and loud for stuff, and any mastering engineers who might happen to stumble across this and listen to it, I apologize in advance because they're all going to be very complainy about what I'm about to say. Because it's not because it's wrong or not because it's right, it's just super basic stuff. But I'm just going to put this limiter here. And I use multi-band dynamics as well. I'm going to put a little saturator on it, a little glue compressor for this basic setup here. And I just want it to sound pretty good, so I'm going to use multi-band compression. I'm going to turn this down to 3, some basic settings.
Scared.
Okay, I'm going to go over here. And if you've got your speakers turned up, you may want to turn your speakers down at this point, actually, just because it's about to get pretty loud. Because I'm gonna push the level on this. So go ahead. I've just turned my headphones down. You might want to go ahead and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down over here on the input of the mic aux 2 in my recording. There we go. So it's less loud. And that's just a basic master here. What I do is I just added some multi-band compression. If you're using Ableton Live, the preset for multi-band compression works pretty good, but you might want to back off the input from 6 to 3, because 6 is overkill. Glue compressor, you could use one of the presets in here for mastering or whatever. I just go ahead and just turn the threshold down a little bit so it's catching it, not much, and make up a little bit here. I messed with the attack and the release a little bit. I used a preset for warm-up lows. You could also use a bit warmer just in general, but you might want to back off the drive for that one. Here, let's listen to that. Yeah. That one also sounds good. And I got the gain here, look ahead is 6 milliseconds, and the limiter, and I just turned up the gain. So it's just barely peaking this out. And I'm not over pushing it, because it's not a final master, it's not anything. It's just basically just making it louder and a little bit fuller sounding, but really not much. And it's just, I use other plugins for when I'm actually doing this for real, if I'm actually mastering a track for real. Not the ones that come with Ableton Live, some of them, but not all of them. This is just a demo master, and I could even just group these together as an effect rack and call this demo master Ableton. And save it like that. Yeah. You can see I've got one there that I've already done before. Let's move that over to this one here. Boop, not there. Right. No, I don't want to move that to the trash. I just want to get out of there. Oh, I'll figure it out later. Oh, my gray is number 7. Okay, there we go. So I've got that now saved. I can pull it up anytime I want. It's just over here. Edit these real quick. You get out of here. Get out of here. There we go. Yep. So I got my demo master Ableton, my drum group Ableton. These are all just using Ableton plugins. So now I've got that. It's sounding pretty good. Good enough. Top, end, zoom in. If you can't make it match, there you go. Click on it, hit Command-Shift-R. And I think that's in the notes right here. Yep, Command-Shift-R, exporting. And now it's going to ask me what do I want to export. And let's go ahead and have a look at it and tell it what to export. So first of all, the rendered track is what I want to export, is the master. If you're bouncing this out for stems, you could do all individual tracks, or if you were bouncing out certain tracks, you just make sure you've got them selected. and you can select selected tracks only. If you wanted to bounce out like an individual track, just one track, then you could select it in here and just bounce out that one track. But I want to do the master, and the master is just going to have everything all as a stereo file. The render start, the render length should be good because we selected it. All these in here, render as loop. You do not want to turn that on unless you're rendering an actual loop and you've got reverb and delay and stuff on it. Convert to mono, no. Normalize, no. No, never, never, unless you're doing drum samples. Create analysis file. If you're bringing the song back into Ableton Live, then sure, create an analysis file, but otherwise, no. Sample rate, 44.1. Yay. Over here, PCM. Basically, PCM is your WAV files, AIF stuff. I always do WAV because it's just more compatible across the board. They do have FLAC in here if you're using a more modern version of Live, but I'm not going to use that. Bit depth, 24. Dither options, don't do any dither. Not right now, not for the basic stuff. MP3, if you want Ableton Live to encode an MP3 for you, you can set that right there. SoundCloud, if you want to upload it to SoundCloud automatically, you can. I never do that. I always have it do it myself. And then video. And no, you don't want to do a video right now. So I hit export. And we say where we want to put this. KMFDWA, right there we go. And I'll just put it in here, and it's this the bounce. Demo master. Excuse me. Hit go, and it's gonna render. And let that do its thing. Kishan says, I've had instances where when I export stems into another session, sometimes they don't line up perfectly with each other. Is there a reason for this? Into another session in Ableton Live? If you're bringing them into another session in Ableton Live and you didn't do the create analysis file, then what happens is Ableton Live doesn't always, if you bring them in, if warp is turned on, then Ableton Live sometimes doesn't warp them correctly. If warp is turned off, sometimes Ableton Live doesn't put the start point at the correct place, so they're going to be off. So you have to go into each individual file and you have to adjust the start point. A lot of times when you're dragging stems in for like, when I do like remix work and stuff like that, I'm dragging stems in, Ableton Live does weird stuff with my audio. So you got to make sure you go into the individual file. So for example, when I go in here, let's save this, and I'll make a new session, and we'll pull this file back in. Get rid of these MIDI files, and we'll go in here to this one. KMFDWA. Here's my demo master. And if I turn warp off, sometimes, see the start right here? Sometimes this will be like boop, or like boop, like that. And even though it's like a super small number, that being not a zero is gonna throw your stems off. So be aware of that. That's probably what the problem is. That you just didn't notice that had changed. Not changed, but had imported it incorrectly. So yeah, try that, and then if it doesn't work, hit me up, and then we'll tackle the problem. We'll figure it out. Okay, cool. So now we've got our song.
'cause I'm scared.
Yeah. It's scary times.
People trying to come in to my bedroom, y'all,
Oh, it's not even showing me the
and
right
cough
place.
in my face.
Cool. So. I am gonna have a Corona mixtape. That's hilarious. Yeah, we got 2 songs already. We got 2 songs. Who wants to mix the mixtape for me? I'll just throw you all the songs and you can do with it as you wish. Viral potential. What? Cool. So that's what's up. Who has questions about anything in Ableton Live that we've covered over the past few days? While you're answering that, or not answering it, as the case may be, did you notice that I put stuff up on YouTube? YouTube. So here in YouTube, sorry, not YouTube, on here, where it says online teaching videos, right here under Ableton Live 1. Oh wait, nope, that's not the right place. I'm sorry. I sent y'all a message about it. I'm gonna have to change this link here. I'm gonna change that link. But I sent y'all a message. My channel that I literally just started. So here they are. I sent you a message that has the playlist link. Stop. So you can watch that. It's got all the videos in glorious HD. Boom. Although I realized it's only 720. So today's video is being recorded in 1080. I hope. I think. So hopefully it's a little bit clearer than the other videos. It's definitely prettier. It's definitely a very pretty video. That makes me so happy. It also makes me happy because it means I can stop messing with this between classes. I've got it to a point where I'm like, okay, now it looks the way it's going to look for a while. It took me a few days because I've just never made anything like this. But yeah. Cool. So that's that. I'm glad y'all saw that. Right. Anything else? Oh, let's talk about plugins. What do you think about that? Shall we talk about plugins? I like this idea because we talked about talking about plugins, and I think going over some plugins that I find very, very useful and I use a lot is a good idea. And since I'm the one talking, we're going to go with the idea. But I'm pretty confident that y'all agree with me. Okay, so let's start with synth plugins, shall we? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to my plugins, and we're going to look at my plugins I've got. And I'm going to show you some stuff and go through it. And yes, the videos are not, they should not all be named Ableton Warping. Ableton Live Introduction Part 2, Live Audio and MIDI Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Ableton Live Warping, etc. Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, I don't know what you're looking at. Maybe you live in a world that's like being John Malkovich and everything's just like Ableton Warping, Ableton Warping, Ableton Warping, Ableton Warping, Ableton Warping, Ableton Warping. Ableton warping, Ableton warping, Ableton warping, Ableton warping, Ableton warping. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some stuff. So let's start with synthesizers. So a good place to Malkovich. Ableton warping, Ableton warping, Ableton warping, Ableton warping. If you don't have this, you need to get Complete. Complete is a good place to start. Native instruments. Boop, 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 boop. Catalog. New products. That's not what you need. You need Complete. And you need, trust me, you need Complete. This is probably the first thing you need. Just because it has everything. And they're not paying me to say this. It's just, you need Complete. It's got a sampler, it's got reactor, it's got drum machines, it's got guitar effects, it's got all the stuff. So I'm gonna put it right here into the thing. Boop, there it is. So you need to get that. That's step number one. And really, we'll talk about Slate in a bit. Really, using this, it's got everything you need to learn how to do everything. Like you can learn how to do synthesis, you can learn how to do sampling. It's fantastic, and it's got all the bases covered. But eventually, you're gonna want some different stuff. Paid promotion. Yeah, I wish. You're going to want some different stuff. And since we're talking about synthesizers, let's go ahead and talk about UHEI. UHEI. Actually, you know what? There's to buy now and pay over time. Yes, get out of here. UHEI has a program called Zebra, which I don't have. I would probably like Zebra a lot. That's their big one. I have this one called Diva, which I'm a big fan of. And it's the only one I have from them. They have a free one as well. It's pretty cool. You can go to their website. The website for... Yeah, we'll get there. Hold on. Hold your horses. UHEI. This one. You had Zebra? I've never actually played with Zebra, but a lot of people swear by it. It's really good stuff. Yeah, but Diva is the one I have, and they've got some cool sounds. They've got some cool synthesizers. Zebra is the famous one. Diva is also pretty famous. They've got this one. Cables everywhere. They have some free ones. Oh. Huh. I didn't know they had so many free ones. That's kind of cool. Yep. So they have some free ones here. That's pretty neat. So you should definitely go there and get some free ones. Yeah. Oh, Diva's better than Zebra? Yeah, but Zebra's, I don't know. A lot of people use it for film scoring and stuff. So this is... I'm a big fan of this one. They got some really, some cool. But it's all analog. Which one is the most badass? Ha, hilarious. Depends what you're into. They both have good stuff. Neither. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Diva though. I use Diva a lot, and one of the reasons why I like Diva so much is because you've got 3 different areas here. You've got your oscillator area, you've got your filter area, and you've got your envelope area. And you can have different oscillators, and like you can have an oscillator from, for example, this is the mini Moog, basically oscillators and filters. And so you can have a real mini Moog sound. It's for softer music. I'm not sure what that means. That goes mighty hard. Everybody just calm down. Calm down. We'll get to synth plugins that go mighty hard in just a second. But Diva is dope. I like Diva a lot. But it's like for analog type of sounds. Another group of plugins that I would recommend would be this Arturia stuff. Arturia is here. Oh wait, here, let me, did I put the plugin? Yeah, I did. So Arturia. Arturia has this, there, Arturia. Oops, if I played it right, if I spelled it right, Arturia. There we go. Okay, so you miss going to Denny's. Serum is for dubstep and techno. Okay, hold on. Stop talking about Serum. We're going to come back to Serum. Everybody just calm down. Arturia here has their V collection. And the V collection is like all the everything. So you've got stuff for trap and soul, EDM, synth pop, all sorts of stuff. If you go to their website, you can play around with the sounds. But basically, it's just got tons and tons of synths in it. I want to go to Denny's. I haven't been to Denny's in forever. Joanna, what are you, from Florida? Are there Denny's up here up north? There you go. Oh, from Cali? Okay. All right. So, yeah, this is the Arturia stuff. And the Arturia stuff is, this V collection has all of this stuff in it, like all of these things, all this. If you look at my screen over here, you can see they're all part of the V collection. One of the things that's really cool about this collection is the Analog Lab. And there we go, there's that. And if I put this back into number 1 over here, we can go through and just a couple of presets. You can search by instrument type. So let's say I want to find something from ARP 2600 or whatever, or if you want to search for something from a type of sound instead, you don't care which synth you're going to use, but you want to get like a lead sound. And then here, just click on these and there's like a ton of. Right, so that's like whatever, but then you can, if you have the Arturia Mini Lab, you can see here I've got the Mini Lab MK2, and I literally just got this. I actually like the way it feels. It feels pretty good for being such a small keyboard, but I like the black on black. They don't sell this anymore though. It's really hard to find this one, but it's literally just black keys and everything's black, and I thought that was kind of fun. So. But you can use this to scroll through and say, okay, I want to get this, and then I want to grab a preset. You can push the button down. And I know these don't fit your desire for sounds that go hard, but don't worry, we'll get there. Big unison, that might. Nope. That is like the opposite of going hard. So, but you can tell it brings a lot of stuff. Now, if you just have analog, Analog Lab 4, all you can do is edit these parameters right here. But if you own the whole collection, you can actually click on it and now you have access to the whole synth itself. Besides the Complete and other plugins, is there an Ableton synth plugin that we could use with you when you're teaching synthesis? No. And well, I mean, I guess it depends on if you have Ableton Live Suite. If you have Ableton Live Suite, then yeah, I can use analog, or I can use analog and I could use Wavetable for teaching synthesis. But otherwise, unfortunately, not really. But can you Ableton link the free apps you sent us? You could actually use Link with that. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, with your iPads. What I can see about doing is, well, yeah, actually on your iPad, if you have a computer and you have the iPad, so you can watch the stream on the iPad, on the computer, and you can actually play with the synth on the iPad. And you could go over some stuff, because that Moog synth is actually right here. The Moog, the Mini here is this one. I don't need the tutorial. It's the same one. So it's basically the same one as that. What's your favorite plugin? Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. As I said a little bit ago, actually I did kind of answer that question already. This one here, Pigments, is one of my favorite new ones right now. I like a lot of the presets I've been making for it, and I like the way it sounds, and it's relatively easy to use. You can go in here, and the Rusted Keys stuff sounds pretty good. But I mean, it suits the stuff I've been making recently, which is more chill stuff. But if you wanted to get into EDM sounds and stuff like that, bright sounds and whatnot, they're in here as well. It's got all sorts of stuff, bright. Huh. Wow, there's a blast from the past. But I don't know where they are, because I never look for those types of sounds. I don't look for the big bright sounds. If I want big bright sounds, I'll go into, not this one, although this does have it. I mean, Pigments has everything. But if you're looking for big and bright sounds, of course, people were saying Serum. So let's grab Serum. Where are you? There you are, Serum. Serum is like what's been used for every EDM song recently is Serum, and then of course there's Sylenth, and then in Sylenth, when I finally made the move over to 64-bit, Hive, yeah, I don't really use Hive too much, but I mean Sylenth was the one forever, and Serum is the one now, and also there's another one that was big. There's a few, but yeah, this one is. Yeah, but Mass is a little bit old. It's not, you're not wrong, but I don't know. I don't know that people are using Massive. I mean, I guess they are, but excuse me. Hold on, let me get some water. But I don't know. People talk about these other ones a little bit more often. But also massive does come with complete. So if you've got complete, then you're getting massive. You're getting massive. Spire, thank you. Spire is I have Spire right. Wait, did I not install it? Huh, that's funny. Yeah, I haven't used Spire for a long time actually, but yeah, Spire is another one that people use a lot for the bright sounding sounds. Thanks for reminding me about that one. But I haven't installed it on this machine. I should, just so I have it here. Because I have a million presets for Spire in here. So Serum is dope. Serum's also really easy to use. I like Serum a lot, especially for the brighter sounds. If I am making more EDM type of stuff, Serum is great. I like Pigments right now. And Pigments and Serum are very similar. Pigments is kind of Arturia's answer to Serum. They're both wavetable synths. You can drag and drop your own samples into them, stuff like that. But yeah, Serum is dope. Another one that you would want to get into is Spectrasonics, Omnisphere. Omnisphere is dope. Harmor? What is Harmor? Use Harmor. I'm not sure I know what Harmor is. Anyway, so here's Omnisphere. Omnisphere is really popular, native to Florida. Huh? Are you talking in the right chat? Agent Orange, what are you saying? What are you saying, man? So this is Spectrasonic stuff, and here we've got let's do. They've got a whole EDM spotlight. Oh, FL Studio. Native to FL. Yeah. So not Florida. Sorry, I'm from Florida, so I go to Florida. Synth bass. You can see. You can see I've given like the really hard stuff like 1 star because I'm like, don't ever touch this sound, Tony. But if you want hard stuff, there's some cool stuff in here. But that's not why I like Omnisphere. Why I like Omnisphere is because of just the weird stuff. There's a lot of interesting things in here. So if we go to categories all and we go to bell textures, rainfall bells, for example. I don't know what this is going to sound like exactly, but yeah. This is the kind of stuff I like. Then there's also Clock Shop. Evaporating crystals drifting. There's all sorts of really cool sounds in here. So Omnisphere is not cheap. I mean, it's actually really expensive. It's like $400, $500 or something like that. But if you're doing this stuff professionally, then you are, it's worth it. Their website is so hokey though. How much does it cost? Yeah, $4.99. Expensive, but worth it. It's dope. Really, really dope. Textures. Do you store Omnisphere directly on your internal hard drive or use an external hard drive? I have it on my external hard drive. I mean, I think we talked about this the other day. The plugin itself goes on the internal hard drive. All the sounds go on my external hard drive. So, yeah. That's Omnisphere. Now, a company that I love that's not really super well known is Sonic Charge. And they have these plugins here. Oh, let me put here's Spectrasonics. There you go. Oh, and Serum. I missed Serum. Who makes Serum? X for Records. There we go. There we go. Boop. Sonic Charge. Sonic Charge is really, really good stuff. Their whole package is not really that expensive, and it's totally worth it. They're not really well known. Hey, I copied you. There we go. But some really cool stuff in here. Synplant is really interesting. It's FM synthesis, but it's like weird FM synthesis. So here's my C. So now, and let's say I like that sound right there. And I'm like, ooh, that's a cool sound. I want to use that sound as a starting point for a whole keyboard sound. I right click and I go plant chosen seed. And now they're all like that. So it's great for just making weird sounds. And I could take this This is so fun. I love this one. Weird sounds. Weird sounds for days. So if you like weird sounds, Synplant's great. And then Synplant also, Sonic Charge also has this microtonic, which I played with the other day. And this one's great for sounds, just weird sounds. I mean, drum beats and stuff. And it's basically a drum machine. Let's put it through BitSpeak. Can make some weird sounds there. Echo Bose, one of my favorite. Like, it's seriously one of the coolest software companies out there that's like nobody knows who they are, or not enough people. It's super, super cool stuff. So that's good stuff. That is Microtonic, that's Sonic Charge, and all their stuff. Now, another company that's also dope is Sugar Bytes. Sugar Bytes, they make synthesizers. I don't really use their synths so much. But they make this one, which is not my favorite. I thought I would like it more, but I love their plugins. But here, this one is Obscurium. This one's great for making like tones. This stuff's cool. And it's in you. Let's change this to 120. Go. Around. What I would do is I would sample this. I would just go in here and grab it. So I got this here, and I would sample that stuff. Yeah, it's really cool, right? Actually, I should probably play with this a little bit more. I take this, drag this here, and now I'd put this in, I'd warp it in complex. Go in here like that, sample that, grab that sample there. Over to here. Yeah, it's got like sequencing stuff in it, yep. So a lot of the stuff that Sugar Bytes makes is based around sequencing stuff. So they got this here. So I just got this sample here. I just played it in. Now let's take this and let me show you one of their other plugins. This is this one called Effectrix. And Effectrix is a sequencer for effects. Let's go ahead and check out some of the. And it's like a. Sequencer for effects. And you get some really weird stuff out of that. So, yeah, it's some neat stuff. So that's Sugar Bytes. Let me just sugarbytes.de, I think. Nope. .com. There's probably a no. Stop. Nope. Stop. Sugarbytes.de. There we go. It's a hyphen. There's a hyphen. They just released this drum computer thing, which I didn't really understand why it was so cool, but oh, they got Effectrix for iPad. Yeah, they got some really cool synths out for the iPad. They've been doing a lot of iPad stuff recently. Sugar Bytes. Yep, I'm a big fan. So I think that's enough of the synths. Let's hear. Let me put a link in here for Serum. Not Serum. Was it Serum? No, not Serum. It was what did you say? You somebody wrote it in here. Spire. That's one. Reveal sound, yeah. People like this one. And it's also very clean and sounds good. And then also, I don't know if they're still making it, but well, the other big one that people used to use a lot was, what was that sampler? It was like everything. It was like all presets, and a lot of people still use it. Can't remember. But then there's silent. There we go, Linar Digital. And this one is like, it's so funny because like for a while it was like the biggest thing around and everybody used it, and I don't know what happened to them. They kind of like stopped. They kind of stopped messing with it. It was really, really, really weird. And like this website looks like it's from like 1998. It's so funny. Yeah, anyway, that's probably a good stopping point, don't you think? I think so. Any last thoughts? Anything? Anything? Last thoughts? No? Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. Thank you very much for keeping me company on this Thursday afternoon. Tomorrow we have class again on Friday because it's not the sampler thing I was talking about. No, it's not. I don't remember the sampler thing I was talking about, but we'll probably learn about it. Anyway, we'll talk about it because we have synths and samplers and stuff. So tomorrow we're talking about synthesizers. So that's what's up. Oh, Lewis, what's up, dude? How's it going? DJ set today? Maybe, we'll see. We shall see. I mean, are you getting do y'all get notified when I go online? If you're following me on Twitch, you should get notified when I go online. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, maybe we'll see. I'm a bit beat after these talking for 4 hours. It kind of tires me out for a while, and kind of the last thing I want to do is sit in front of a computer some more. But maybe we'll see. All right. Thank you very much. Au revoir. Bye. Thank you.